Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Worlds 2019. This is Day 1A, Round 2 for the Gold Squadron podcast. My name is Asa Graff.
And I'm Darren Granger.
And on the table, two other Brits. I didn't know there were more of you.
It's a British invasion.
It absolutely is. Phil GC, the X-Wing hipster himself, on the left-hand side, with Ben Hibbert on the right. Now, that's one of your folks, right?
So Ben Hibbert plays for the Sith Takers, based out of Stockport in Manchester. You might have heard of him from the Sith Takers Snapshot podcast.
You might have, but if you're a cultured man and don't listen to a podcast called The Sith Takers,
then you will never have heard of him.
Exactly.
But let's be honest, Andrew, Asa even. You're not Andrew.
I'm
Asa,
not Andrew.
You are not a cultured man.
Absolutely.
So absolutely here, we've got two Europeans here, which you wouldn't normally see on Gold Squadron that much. So I thought it was a great matchup to really show here, and we've gone from two swarms to two aces here.
Absolutely. Now, if you look there on both the left and the right-hand side, we see those large tokens denoting force, shield, charge, and stuff like that. Those are brought to us by the folks at Curled Paw Creative on Etsy. They've sponsored this stream. You can get tokens just like that, whether you want them large, whether you want them small. That's coupon code WORLDS2019. Gets you 15% off. And sorry to the Brits on here, but if you're in the U.S., you get $35 of free shipping.
No, you get
$35 and over gets you free shipping. Thank you.
Yeah, if you
in
spend
the US.
$35 or more in the continental United States, you get free shipping.
Exactly. So let's talk about these lists. They're creative. They're different from what we saw before. Phil GC, just Fen and Guri with a 22-point bid.
Yep.
That's one way to get around some fact.
It's not necessarily about how big your bid is. It's about what you do with it, Asa.
Exactly. And what he's doing with this is two absolutely nasty scum aces. Fen without maneuver, Guri without maneuver, advanced sensors, shield upgrade, afterburners, and Virago absolutely tricked out 104 points. Fen Rao at 74. That's facing off against Ben Hibbert's 198-point list, giving up the bid in most of those situations. Anakin, Obi, and a filler gold.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you think there is an advantage in lists here?
So, the challenge that Ben's going to have is he's first player.
Right.
He's first player. As we see here, we've got Annie's going up against Fen Rao. Fen Rao's moving second. So if Phil wants to, he can just arc dodge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got up on stream right now. There's a poll to choose who you think is going to win. Go ahead and vote 1 for player 1. That's Phil GC. Go ahead and vote 2 for player 2. Let's see what those are. That's up in chat right now.
Absolutely, and I think this is actually going to be a very, very quick game.
I think so. We see these players both being aggressive, both playing. Their pace of play is extremely quick right now. We saw Phil GC come right out of the gate with Fen Rao down there, screaming forward with a barrel roll just to keep him out of range. He doesn't want to engage. That's Anakin down there on the bottom. He doesn't want to engage Anakin just yet, but he is definitely keeping the pressure on not to let Ben get too cautious or get too cagey. Now, it's perfect here because he's positioned Fen against Anakin. Fen's moving last. He's positioned Guri against Obi. And Guri is moving last right there.
Absolutely. And Guri with advanced sensors is phenomenal. With obviously doing that bendy barrel roll, it means that if Obi-Wan turns in here, then Guri can react to that with either an advanced sensors barrel roll or an advanced sensors boost. Alternatively, if Obi doesn't turn in, it does a different move. Totally reposition. It's such a great ship that will just dance around other aces. And so Ben's doing absolutely the right thing here of bringing two ships in to try and pin this down. It's unlikely he's ever going to get two arcs on the one ship, but let's see. Let's see what happens.
So there's the Gold Squadron Trooper, 2-turn to pilot left, barrel rolling down towards the bottom. Obi-Wan likely to come in that gap. In fact, there he goes. He's taking a sweeping 3-bank behind that gas cloud. That way, if Guri does get arc, he's got that gas cloud to protect himself. He can use the Gold Squadron Trooper to cover this area while Obi-Wan comes back there.
Quick note here. Shout out to Enigma. Sorry, I'm struggling talking right now. Enigma Wargaming for Ben Herbert ships and Rastamace for those dial covers on the right side.
Yeah, thank you, Dion. There's Guri, 3 straight forward, no advanced sensors. Very likely there's the boost.
And he's likely to get an out-of-arc shot on
Yeah, it looks like we're missing Obi by just a hair.
Yeah.
I definitely think that Ben's going to have to bring Anakin up towards the top of the board. He's going to have to bring both the Jedi to bear to get an arc on any of these ships.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there is Anakin 3 banking up towards the top. Interesting to see what he's doing here. You think he's anticipating Fen to go fast or turn this way? Because otherwise Fen can make a conservative maneuver and bam!
Yeah, if Fen Rao's just done a 2 forwards there, then Anakin's in a really, really bad spot.
There's outmaneuver, brings that Delta 7B down to 1 defense die.
Yeah.
And I think there's the move that we see right there. It's that angle to barrel roll to block off this lane right here. Does not let Fen scoot right by. Fen now, the only way that he gets out of arc is a fast maneuver and a boost.
Yeah. I mean, if he's done a 2 bank here, then 2 forwards, yeah.
So there's the 2 forwards. It looks like that is awfully close. It looks like Anakin's arc is just clipping Fen.
Yeah.
So there it is. There's the focus.
Yep. Just changing that for the large curled pull creative tokens there.
And with 67 minutes in, less than 10 minutes after the start, we are seeing first dice rolls.
So Anakin does have Fen Rao in arc, which means outmaneuver will not be active on Fen Rao, which is good news for Ben.
Absolutely, but Fen is the best ship at range. Here comes Anakin's range 1 shot, only 1 hit, 1 focus.
Is he going to spend the force? Nope.
Not worth it. He wants to keep it for defense. No damage into Fen, of course, with Concordia face-off.
Yep.
There's Fen, 5 dice. Spend that focus, 3 hits, 1 crit. 1 evade, 2 and a crit going through on Anakin.
So here we go with Guri into the Gold Squadron Trooper here. There we go. 3 hits after spending the target lock. Without maneuver, it's only 1 defense dice, and he's spending the evade. Okay, so there we go. So that's the end of the engagement phase. The Gold Squadron Trooper there taking 2 hits.
All right, everybody. So
down to 3 hull.
Absolutely.
Phil GC pulling out a little bit of lead right there, getting half points already on Anakin Skywalker, taking all those shields down.
Okay, now it's worth pointing out that that Anakin does have regen.
Absolutely. So it's not. He only has 2. He only has 2 regens in the can with that R2, but he still can get above half points.
But he does have a spare parts canister.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I think is the play right here.
Yep.
Is Anakin Skywalker moves forward slightly, drops that spare parts canister, barrel rolls maybe behind Fen, so he can drop that spare parts canister.
Well, you don't even need to do that. You've got a little. The great thing about the Delta 7 is it's got a hard 1.
That's true.
That hard 1 will drop it straight on him. Or just do a 1 bank. Got lots of options there to drop that spare parts canister right on Fen Rao.
My thought is that he wants to get out here and try to make Fen have to turn, spend a couple turns to chase him while he comes over here to help out with the Guri fight, because Anakin is your best tool against this, because Guri is the squirreliest ship. Fen is the biggest gun, but Guri is the squirreliest. He needs that extra gun on target to be able to get multiple arcs at the same time. Fen doesn't have double reposition, so with a couple ships still on the board, he can nail him down.
Yep.
Guri is just so hard.
Yeah. So what we see here is we've seen the sloop there by Obi-Wan to try and open his arc out this way. And this gas cloud here meant that it's going to be really difficult for Guri to reposition. But as we can see, he's now managed to get out of arc.
Exactly. There's that advanced sensor curvy barrel roll. 1 hard turn. There's the 2 bank from Anakin.
It's a 2 sloop.
Excuse me. Sorry. There we go.
Because with Anakin's ability, he can now spend a force to not take stress. So he still gets his action.
He's got to put some damage in on target lock. Yep. One turn from Fen.
Mm-hmm.
Can he barrel roll boost out of arc? Barrel roll over to the left, maybe a boost out.
I don't believe that the Fang Fighter has a double reposition.
And there's the announcement from some Destiny. He is going to barrel roll in, though. Get that extra
Will he
die
get
at
arc?
range 1. He won't be able to get arc, but he does have that focus link barrel roll.
Taking a stress there to have the linked action.
Exactly. Give him
So
just a
we
little bit of
are
extra
going to have
defense.
engagement again. So here we go, 4 dice on 4. He is spending the target lock, starting with a hit crit. And spending the force there for 2 hits, 2 crits. And Fen Rao there rolling a lot of paint to use Concordia face-off and the focus to ignore all damage.
Good job, Fen. Range 2 obstructed from Guri into Obi-Wan. Outmaneuver does trigger. Obi-Wan says have an extra die from that gas cloud. Removed 1 from outmaneuver.
So 1 hit there from Guri.
Obi-Wan
Double
is fine.
blank, gas cloud.
Absolutely. Once again, Anakin just has to get over there. He has to get up towards the top of the board.
Yeah, and this is what we're seeing right now. We've got the two brawlers just trying to knife fight down here against each other, while these ships here are just dancing around. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next round with Ben with this torrent here, because if this torrent can actually just disengage, ignore what's going on between Obi-Wan and Guri, that's another set of dice that's coming in against Fen Rao. And Fen Rao really struggles when it gets to range 2 and 3, and he's got multiple guns on him.
Right, so do you think the play is to get Anakin up there, or to bring these guys down here?
It's interesting. So, again, because Guri's got the advanced sensors, she can just react perfectly to whatever Obi-Wan does. So, for example, if Obi-Wan decides to just go fast and just disengage, now he's got to do a blue maneuver, so the quickest I believe they have is a 3 straight. He can still come round here. If Guri's dialed in a 1 straight, that means that because of the bank boost, you can barrel roll this way and do a 1 straight this way. Alternatively, you could just disengage and boost this way and do a straight. There are lots of places that Guri can be. It is a disgusting ship to try and pin down. You just cannot catch it. Now, I wouldn't be surprised here if we saw a 2 Talon roll from Ben with this torrent to, again, keep the arc this way, and then just some slow speed maneuver here with Obi-Wan. The thing he's got to watch out for, though, is that Guri can obviously just do an advanced sensors barrel roll this way, and then a 1 bank.
Just using that gas cloud.
Yeah, just dancing around this object here. So damage might not go through, but he's tying up 2 of Ben's ships.
Right.
So let's have a look.
Here we go. 2 bank to the left, bringing that torrent down into the Fen fight.
Yep.
I think Ben recognizing that with Fen out of the way, he can put more guns onto Guri, more effectively deal with her. Here comes Obi-Wan, 3 straight.
Wouldn't be surprised if he does the force boost.
There it is.
And probably just takes focus.
There it is, focus. Calling advanced sensors, there's the barrel roll.
Yep. Okay, we've got a hard one, I guess.
Likely to see the hard one.
Yep.
There it is. Facing at the torrent, not necessarily Obi-Wan, but that's all right. So Ben indeed bringing his ships to bear down on the bottom side of the board.
And again, when Guri shoots at this torrent here, it's likely to only have 1 dice.
And I'm expecting Fen to go there.
Yep. So 1 bank here from Anakin.
Moving to either block Fen or get behind him.
Yep. So Fen Rao, because he's stressed, is going to want to do a blue maneuver, so things like the hard 2. So here we go with Annie taking the target lock on Fen Rao.
Hard 2 from Fen.
Yep, looks like it clears. They're going to mark out Anakin right now. That's very easy for Fen Rao to get out of that with a simple barrel roll. So there we see that.
Field GC commentary. I think I'm going to barrel roll. To which Ben replies, "Coward."
Yep. Yep.
It's not cowardly if it's the right decision. There we go. Fenrau out of arc. Guri the only one right here with a shot.
Absolutely. So it looks like range 2.
One evade.
Yep.
No damage. And we are back to dials
yep.
with 58 minutes left. No meaningful damage done so far. Anakin is on half hull, but he can always get that back with our 2 Astromech. We haven't seen any spare parts canisters just yet.
No, and I think because what he's trying to do is he's tried to keep time on target into Fenrau. We saw that he had the range 1 shot, not the last round, but the round before that. Had the range 1 shot, got the 4 hits that he needed, but Fenrau just got the results that he needed.
Now, what do you think about this kind of play? Anakin turning around 2-turn, boosting forward to drop that spare parts canister right on top of Fen. So where Fen goes, these guys can curve in, put some guns on top of Fen with no reposition, with no action.
It's definitely a potential. What you'd want to do is, yeah, you're absolutely right. You'd be looking at kind of the hard 2 and potentially a barrel roll to drop the spare parts. Whether Ben's seen that or not, we'll see. It could be that Fenrau just disengages here.
Here's a hard turn pilot left with that V19.
And
put in the focus. The pace of play from these players is insane. This is the fastest played game that we've seen in 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here comes Obi-Wan. There's the blitz.
Cares not about the gas cloud.
About the bacon cloud.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if he's front of the ship, no, it's not clear. So
there's still no boost available.
Yeah, he cannot perform the fine-tuned controls.
3 forward from Guri. Oh, there's the advanced barrel roll.
So the 3 bank from Guri. Again, we see Guri just dancing around.
And that's why Ben's focusing so hard on Fen right now, because he just cannot nail down Guri without Anakin's pilot skill advantage.
Yep. So there we see the hard one there from Anakin. And just taking a focus action. So it all depends on what... Fenrau does the hard one. Gets the block.
Now, whether or not he can make this work from Obi-Wan, I'm wondering if this corner is slightly off the rock.
Yeah, and that's the
gas cloud,
that's going to be interesting. They might want to get a judge call on that.
Ben is going to attempt to pop the torrent.
Yep, I think that's the right call by Phil. He's going to try and. Oh, so nothing from Fenrau there.
Obi-Wan checking that gas cloud, calling it through the cloud.
Yep, range 2 into Fenrau.
Phil brazing a little easy. Oh, man, he really wants to... He's got to keep the force. He's going to spend 1.
So... So, Guri now looking at options.
So, Guri taking the range 3 into Anakin. One crit, Anakin easily evading that.
Yeah.
All right, now V19 Torrent now has not fired.
It's a misplay by Ben.
That is a misplay.
Yep.
No shots is no shots. But as Ben did mention, now we got a game now.
Yes, absolutely.
So everyone is in the scrum. We don't have 2 separate fights. No meaningful damage put right through. If Ben wants to keep the pressure onto Fen and Guri, where does he put that Anakin Skywalker?
So, I think here, Anakin just does a hard one.
Hard one? We drop the spare parts there?
You've got the option of doing a hard one, dropping the spare parts. The challenge is that's going to take your action.
Right.
And that's part of the issue. I mean, it's a cute little play. Whether he goes for it or not, I don't know. My question is, what's he going to do with Obi-Wan here? Because Obi-Wan's in a real tough spot because of where he is just here with that gas cloud means that he's not going to get his perform action step.
So looking here at Obi-Wan's dial, he does have that 5K available.
He absolutely does, but the problem is if he takes the 5K option, it's going to take him out of the fight. Any shot he then gets is going to be at range and probably have this gas cloud in the way.
Maybe not on Fen.
So, Obi-Wan spending a force with sense. Sees that Fen is doing a 4K.
All right. So there's the blocking maneuver from the V19.
Absolutely. So I would expect to see a barrel roll here from the Torrent to block Fen Rao.
I think he's already blocking.
So he's barrel rolling.
Because I think that rolls back a little bit too far.
No, I think that's good. Both players are discussing now. And so then here we've got a hard one from Obi-Wan.
So now I would like to see Obi-Wan. There's the barrel roll.
Yep.
So he's not going to be blocked into Obi-Wan getting a range 1 shot on the Torrent. Guri taking the advanced sensor barrel roll.
Yeah, Guri is such a good ship in this knife fight here. So the advanced sensors means that he can do the barrel roll. Normally advanced sensors means that you cannot perform an action in your perform action step. However, Guri's ability is that they get a focus assigned to them as long as they're at range 1 in the engagement phase.
Right. So there's some question in chat about whether or not the mistrigger for the V19 to engage is a may or a must. Now, the V19 must engage.
Yes.
But it may shoot.
Yes. So it potentially is a mistrigger.
Right.
We are spectators. We're not allowed to interfere with the game, so we are allowed to bring it to the attention of a judge if we see it. But the game has now moved on at this point.
And there's the block right in front of Anakin.
So Guri getting the focus there, start of combat.
Absolutely huge. Anakin shot.
So Ben's just deciding who he wants to shoot with Anakin.
He is considering the shot on Guri. If there was a time to shoot Guri, this might be it.
The problem is he going to have this gas cloud just there?
Does it look to you like that gas cloud got moved?
Potentially a little bit, but these things happen in the course of the game.
Absolutely. And neither of the players are making a big deal out of that, so we're going to go ahead and fire with Anakin. Range 1.
Range 1.
And
spend that lock.
We've got 1 hit, 1 crit. That's not going to be enough.
Yep, with face off there, no dice.
Now, it's worth mentioning that Concordia face-off only happens when you're in the attacker's primary firing arc and at range 1.
Yeah.
All right, so back to dials one more time. Is there no damage in there?
There was...
They play so fast.
Yeah, it's difficult to keep track here. It looked like there was some damage into the arc, but I'm not entirely clear. The torrent, sorry.
Okay. All right, so back to dials now. 50 minutes remaining. They're moving so quickly. Love that Anakin dial, though.
Yeah.
And the Obi-Wan. So Fen is stressed. He has to move in that forward direction.
Yep.
Where are we going to see this torrent? We might see a K-turn from that torrent right there. Point his arc.
That torrent is stressed.
Oh, that is the torrent stress. Yeah, thought that was Guri's for a second there.
So that belongs to the torrent, because the torrent did the barrel roll to block Fen Rao and took the evade.
Absolutely. Obi-Wan likely to take a 1 turn.
Yeah.
Up towards the top of that board. Maybe a 2. I can't really judge the distance right there with that self bump.
It's probably going to be a 1 or a 2 turn. The problem is, it's quite easy for Guri to still be in the flank here.
Right.
Because of that advanced sensors. And this is why it's a phenomenal piece.
So good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see an advanced sensors barrel roll back this way, come across the gas cloud.
Yep, absolutely, because at the end of the day, 0 consequences from that gas cloud because you've already taken your action.
Right, because Anakin might just self or bump to the back of Fen right there, keep his arc wide, do you think?
He could self-bump, or he could just K-turn.
That's true. Here's the torrent.
Oh, slight knock.
One bank. That's a good move. That's a good move from Ben. It does block off that advanced sensor barrel roll in this direction.
Yep. Just correcting the Fenrow.
Go ahead and take a focus.
Yep.
There's the 2-turn.
Sorry, not a hard 2. What do you say? It's a 2 straight to...
a 2 straight to pilot right.
Yep, absolutely.
Question in the chat, the Rob AGD, who is on this game, don't recognize the voice. For Gold Squadron, I'm Asa Graff, and this is Darren Granger with me, another Englishman. We see 2 more of his kind here on the stream. Just a 1 straight.
That's the least interesting move that we've seen from Guri all game.
But it was the advanced sensor
boost. And we're seeing a signals loop here.
Getting some distance, turning the arc around. Just out of Obi-Wan's arc, I believe. Stress for Guri, though, that can be dangerous. Because it does mean she's predictable next round for the first time all game.
Yeah. So
Anakin Skywalker. That looks like a 1 bank to pilot left. I'm unsure exactly as to where he was looking to point with that move.
I think what he was trying to do there is potentially if Guri had done something that bumped this torrent, it might give him a decent range 1-shot. It could just be that actually he didn't know where anything was going to be, so he's moved. And also, you've also got to consider that Fenrow there's done a hard 2. He had to go one way or the other. If he'd have come this way, he'd have had a shot.
Right. Now, Fen doing that hard 2, barrel rolling back towards Obi-Wan to get that extra die and the face-off bonus. Getting the free focus.
So Anakin no shot from Anakin.
And Obi-Wan is next, taking the range 1 shot into Fenrow.
Absolutely.
No shot on Guri. There's the range 1 on a Fen. Ben hoping for a large hit right here.
Yep.
2 hits, focus blank. Spending that target lock. Not taking the...
Does he get face-off?
He does. Obi-Wan's front-facing arc is pointed at Fenrow.
Yeah. So there we see again Fenrow just doing Fenrow things.
Absolutely. At range 1, he just takes no damage.
Yeah. So Ben there just realizing that he forgot to regen.
1 evade on Anakin.
Yep. And they are back to dials.
Absolutely. This is such a quick running game, but there's not a lot of damage being done.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen, we're down to the 45-minute mark, but these guys are rattling through. Now, we're seeing round after round after round. Not a lot of damage, but just quick turns.
Absolutely. Something to keep in mind, though, is even though Phil is dodging these arcs expertly, even though he is taking no damage, Ben is making him do that rather than putting hard damage into Anakin, hard damage into Obi-Wan, rather than killing the torrent. So Ben is still forcing Phil to play defensively rather than aggressively right here.
Now, this is an interesting turn because Guri's stressed and Fenrow stressed, which means Obi-Wan knows that, especially with sense, he's going to have an ability to look at where these two are going, deciding which one he chooses. He's decided to not take it.
I don't think you need to in that case. Because Guri's only clear blue maneuver is a 1 bank to the left. If she doesn't want to bump, she has to take that 1 bank to the left. Or, excuse me, 1 or the 2 as...
So they're just marking Fen out there. Now the question is he doing the signals loop? I think Obi-Wan is in fact doing the signals loop.
There it is. For that exact reason.
So the question now is, will he be able to capitalize on this?
There's the 2 bank from Guri. So she is actually going right.
So they're going to mark out Fen. So these 2 players expertly marking ships there. And it's a bump.
And that's a beautiful shot for Obi-Wan right there.
Absolutely beautiful.
If Anakin is also able to turn around.
The problem is with Anakin, the only real moves he's got to turn around would be... So he's doing a 2 signals loop there. So Ben, thinking just before he did that whether he was going to take the regen or not, I think he's decided that even though he's going to have shots down range, it should be in range.
Shots are shots.
Yeah.
Anakin rolls well, can strip that focus from Guri.
Yep, just checking now to see whether it's in bullseye.
It is not.
It is not, so he cannot use Anakin's ability. And Fen Rao here doing a 2 bank.
So Fen Rao has skirted the net right here.
Yep.
Is he will not take any shots this round. He'll be unstressed.
Just a few slight knocks there, a few slight nerves.
Again, both of these players putting an emphasis on speed of play. Fench could go ahead and take a target lock on Obi-Wan. Yep.
So even though Guru is blocked there, still gets focus.
There's a range 3 coming downfield, unobstructed from Anakin Skywalker.
Yep. So Guru's going to be taking 3 shots this round. So Anakin spending 2 force there. Guru spending the focus, take nothing.
So that is expected, I think, but it's what Ben wants to see. Strip that focus. Now Obi-Wan's got the range 1 shot.
Yep. And has a target lock. And spending 2 force.
3 shields off of Guri.
Not quite half points.
Guri shooting the target downfield, range 3. Hit and a crit. Torrent. 2 evades needed. Gets none. Gold Squadron Trooper goes down. There was 1 more damage on there.
Yep.
So Torrent does pop. Guri took 2 shields. Both of those aces now at Force Hull, 0 shields.
So just taking that maneuver template from
now. Ben did manage to get a big hit right there, but Guri also took out the Torrent. So he's lost an arc, and that's something that he needs to nail these ships down.
Yep, and with both of his ships stressed, what that means is he's going to have to do blue maneuvers to try and clear that, which means that Guri's in a great position to just do an advanced sensors barrel roll this way and just disengage.
I mean, I think she's still in position, too, where she could also go 1 sensors barrel roll, something like a 1 turn, chase Obi-Wan if she wants to play aggressively. But I think you're right. That disengagement is going to force them to tangle with Fen.
Yeah.
Give Guri an opportunity to come back for the outmaneuver.
Yeah, and this is the difficult one here, that because Phil's up on points quite significantly, even if Anakin decides to regen that shield and take those points away, he still killed the Torrent.
Right. Still killed the Torrent. Still got that, what is it, the 25 points.
Yep.
Guri is 1 point away from half.
She absolutely is, and that's a big half.
Right. So I think I think it's still too early to go for a points play from Ben, though.
Yep.
With 40 minutes at the pace these folks are playing,
yep.
Just pushing really hard for that half points on Guri could be a mistake, especially if we see her disengage. Here's the 2 bang from Obi-Wan.
Yep. And there we just saw Obi-Wan using sense on Fen Rao to understand that Fen Rao's doing a hard one.
He's using this gas cloud to cover him.
Yep. So here we see Obi-Wan using spare parts. And getting rid of the lock there from Fen Rao.
So there's that advanced sensor. Looks like we're going to see a 3 sloop.
Yep.
From Guri. Still, it's a disengage, but it's a disengage with no, what am I trying to say? No shots coming in on her. Because Anakin has just regened, if I heard that correctly.
Ben there taking the chance to regen a shield there on Anakin.
Because he knows he's not going to have a great shot on Guri.
Yeah.
Fen Rao looking at a shot on Anakin Skywalker right there.
So here we see a range 3 shot from Fen Rao into Anakin. Just one hit.
Anakin's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Anything he rolled there would have been fine.
3 dice versus 1 of Obi-Wan's, 1 hit, 1 evade. That hot single green.
Yep. Yeah, both players commentating their dice are just a whole load of nothing.
I mean, they're all unmodified shots.
Yes. Yeah.
At this point, like Guri doesn't have anything, Fen doesn't have anything. Now we see a re-engagement, though. I think in this case, Phil definitely has the upper hand with Fen poised to come in, Guri poised to come in, Obi-Wan facing the wrong way.
Yeah. Yep.
And Anakin looking at going over a gas cloud, losing that reposition if he wants to get into Guri.
Yeah. But again, we see that Guri's stressed, so no advanced sensors.
Now, no advanced sensors doesn't mean no post-maneuver barrel roll.
Nope, absolutely not. It's just Obi-Wan here will be able to potentially do the hard one. And depending on where it puts him, he might be able to barrel roll off.
Right. But you got to watch out because Fen could also do a hard one.
Yep.
Sticking himself right in that range 1, and that's a combined with a Guri shot. Phil can definitely afford to take a couple damage on Guri if it means a kill shot or a decisive victory on Obi-Wan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what we've seen here is when the engagement was up in this part, we saw Phil using it to good effect. When we're down here, we've seen Ben using this as well. So both players using absolutely to their advantage these objects that are on the field here. So it looks like they're ready. So, sense on Fen Rao, and revealing a 2-bank.
So with a 2-bank, if there is the 1 hard barrel roll, it's entirely possible, I think, that Obi-Wan could get underneath that, but he is going much, much faster.
So just marking out Obi-Wan, just marking out Anakin. It looks like he's doing the signals loop there with Obi-Wan. Yeah, but that's a great move, because it means that if he was putting himself in here, the problem is that these ships could cause him real problems.
1 straight forward from Guri.
Yep. Now remember, Ben only has to do 1 damage to Guri, and what we've seen is when Guri's taking 1 or 2 shots, she really does struggle. Now it looks like Phil's trying to decide whether he's going to try and barrel roll this way or not. Because if he does, it'll probably limit him to just 1 shot through a cloud.
Right, I think that would be a very, very strong barrel roll.
Yeah.
Especially with Anakin poised to something like that. He is taking the target lock instead.
So taking the target lock on Anakin.
Now, I think that is going to self-bump Fen, Anakin regenning.
Anakin regenning again. Yep.
Now Anakin clearing that stress. Interesting. Can he clear the pilot left boost?
So it's whether the boost fits.
Right.
It's really, really close, and that's what Ben's looking at now. Now, the discussion at the table was whether the template hit the gas cloud or not, and I think the players have agreed that it didn't actually hit the gas cloud.
Right.
And so what that means is Ben's got a reposition and his action available to him.
Right.
So he's just taking the focus.
That's dangerous.
It absolutely is dangerous because that's going to be 4 dice in from Guri.
Now, Fen, and depending on Fen's angle, this is something that they really need to get precisely.
Yeah. Yeah, because it could be that Fen doesn't get a shot on Annie. Let's have a look. So it looks like they're both going to be able to shoot each other.
But Fen absolutely has the advantage right there.
No, they're not,
and
because Anakin
has
did regen. So here we see 5 dice going into Anakin.
Disgusting. Here it is, 5 dice. We have a big hit,
So
2
2
hits. Anakin, 1 evade, 1 shield goes down.
Yep.
Obi-Wan, should he take the range 2 obstruct at Guri or range 3 at Fen? I would say the range 3 at Fen.
He's only got to do 1 damage into Guri.
But Guri's got the focus and the gas cloud. He's not going to do any damage to Guri.
But if you can get Guri to spend that focus.
But if he can drop a crit on Fen.
Yep. So he's going for Guri. Nothing.
Not spending that force.
So here we're going to see 4 dice into Anakin. And Anakin only gets 1 dice in return.
He has the target lock. 3 hits.
So 1 evade.
Shield and a damage. Now Anakin is at half points. There's nothing about that.
Yep. And Anakin only has the spare parts canister.
There is a spare parts canister charge on there. He can regenerate that.
The only issue there is that spare parts canister takes 2 actions to regen that droid.
Exactly.
And that's just turns he cannot afford.
And it wouldn't get him back above half health either.
No, absolutely not.
So dials are down again, just over 30 minutes left. Phil GC leading by 71 points. Ben Hibbert trailing with none on the board just yet, but still half points on that Guri is a big half, but now Ben's got to get both half on Guri and Fen, or just get a kill.
Or just get a kill. So we've got a 1 bank here on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Probably likely just to see a target lock.
Yep. Now that spare parts canister, Ben commenting, very inconvenient for him.
So Obi-Wan just taking the focus there. So Guri doing the advanced sensors barrel roll.
I think I see a 1 turn left on that dial.
Yep, looks like it's going to be a hard one. Dropping in right behind Obi-Wan.
There it is. Is that going to bump?
I think it's going to be clear.
Barely clear.
Yep.
Guri will get the focus, the range 1 outmaneuver shot on Obi.
Yep. So Anakin, I would expect to see 2 signals here.
There it is.
It's going to put him roughly where Fenrau's dial is. So going to spend a force to lose that stress. And I would expect to see a target lock here on Guri. What do you think?
I think so too. That's where his play is.
Yeah. Like if he can get Guri to spend the focus that it's going to get, or whether it's potentially damage it. So I think we've seen a Talon roll there from Fenrau. Yep,
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Great aggressive maneuver from Phil.
Yeah, well the thing is here, because of this, because of outmaneuver, he's potentially got the chance of just taking Anakin off the board right now.
So there is Anakin shot coming in on Guri.
Yep, range 2.
Now really got to decide whether or not he wants to save that focus for defense. 2 hits. Only 1 evade, and there's the 1 damage he needs for half points on
Does give him half points.
Fen Rao, 3 dice against 1, outmaneuvered.
Yep. Nothing. Lucky for Ben.
Ben breathing a little bit easier right now.
Yep. So now we've got Guri going into Obi-Wan. 4 hits.
Destructive 4 hits against only 1 die. That hot single green, but it's still shields down.
Yep. Gets him half points on Obi-Wan. And Phil here showing that even though the Jedi might be the new hotness, Guri can quite easily dance around.
"27 minutes left right now. Phil GC up 112 to 52. Ben Hibbert's win condition now to kill both.
Yeah.
At this point, again, with the pace these players are playing, still very, very possible.
Yeah, we've still got a lot of rounds in.
And we know how aces can evaporate.
Yep.
If they're caught out in a bad position.
Yep. Now we've got Fen Rao here, who's stressed. Do you think we're going to see a hard one in from Obi-Wan, maybe with a boost bank, and a hard one from Anakin and a barrel roll to try and lock him in?
My concern there would be, I definitely think that we want to see the 1 turn from Obi-Wan. I think that's the right maneuver right there, despite what Guri is obviously going to do, and barrel roll out, 1 turn, that kind of stuff.
Guri's never going to pin down. I think
exactly.
you accept that you've got half points on her and go, right, now I need to nail Fen.
Exactly. Anakin's an interesting one, because if he turns in here, even with the barrel roll, unless he blocks the 2 bank from Fen, then he needs to stay out of range. So I'm thinking it's either something like that, go for the 2 bank or the block on the 2 bank, or a Segnor's loop.
And I was just going to say,
his arc wide.
Here it's key to say, actually use sense here with Obi-Wan.
Yep.
So Obi-Wan doing the hard 2. Now, let's see, does he take that crit? They're just clearing out the dice box. Nope.
No, he does not. Now that puts Obi-Wan in a tough position for next round.
Yep.
But if he can use this advantage right now, this is excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. So, advanced sensors there from Guri to take a target lock onto Anakin. And then a hard one.
There's a hard one bumping into Obi-Wan.
Yep. But as we've seen, advanced sensors means it's irrelevant. He's already taken a target lock, and then he's going to get a focus at the start of the engagement phase. So that Guri is going to be...
Anakin with a 1 bank.
Interesting.
Very interesting maneuver. Self-bumping
Yep.
into Obi-Wan, maybe going for a kill shot. But here comes Fen Rao with a kill shot of his own.
But it just fits.
Absolutely. Anakin is boned.
So this is going to be an interesting round. This could be pretty much the end of the game. So we've got Anakin here, range 1 into Guri. It's all going to be down to what Ben rolls. Just
and
1 crit.
Absolutely nothing. 1 crit won't go through. Fen Rao's return shot.
So Fen Rao now going range 1 into Anakin. So this is going to be 5 red dice versus 1 green dice.
Spend that focus.
Spends the focus. Nope, decides not to spend the focus.
Hit, crit. Anakin Skywalker, even if he had tossed out that 1 evade, he is still gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely slaughtered. A very interesting maneuver, that 1 bank.
And Concordia face off there, meaning nothing for Obi-Wan.
So Obi-Wan now on 3 hull. Both
and stressed.
Both of Phil's ships moving after Obi-Wan. Do you think there's anything that Ben can do to claw back some extra points here?
As much as I'd love to root for Ben, I think this game's a foregone conclusion now.
I think you're right. That absolute slaughtering of Anakin, not moving in to block Fen.
Yeah.
was an unfortunate move.
Yep, and we've seen a lot of variance in this game when it's coming to dice on both sides.
Right. That's one of the reasons why it's lasted as long as it has with this pace of play. But Phil just time and time again showing us how good those scum aces are when they're moving last at overcoming these issues.
And here we see just a hard one from Guri. Take a target lock. We'll get the focus. 4 dice, double modded.
Fen likely to Talon roll. There it is.
Yep.
There's that focus.
Ben asking Phil there to kill Obi-Wan and put him out of his misery.
And there it is.
And there it is. That is game.
Yep, hit, crit. That's game. Obi-Wan Kenobi dies with 23 minutes left. Phil GC eking out pulling out a decisive victory.
Yep.
198 to 52 over Ben Hibbert there.
Well, 200.
Correct. Killed all the list.
Yep.
Phenomenal play right there.
Yeah, really, really fast-paced as well. Like, we were struggling to keep up.
We really were. All right, so I just want to go over Phil's list a little bit because that's extremely strong.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
In the meta right now, we have, I think right now, a lot of Sun Fac.
Yep.
Right? That's the other ace that everybody's talking about. Sun Fac doesn't run with a 22-point bid.
Not everyone's Sun Fac.
That's true. That's true. The Sun Fac that we saw today, the Sun Fac that we saw yesterday, they're running with 12 points with, I think, 13 points.
Yeah. I mean, the real strength of Phil's list here is the bid and outmaneuver.
Right.
Outmaneuver is just disgusting in an ace meta, especially on Guri. Guri's ability to just get out of arc of stuff and then trigger it. It doesn't have to be behind. It just has to be behind outside of arc.
Right. Now, is something like this also going to have the legs against the beef that we see?
And I think that's where it'll struggle.
If Phil GC makes it later on, whether or not it's later today or tomorrow, I'd like to revisit that, see if he comes up against some beef.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see what it does struggle against.
So definitely stay tuned, folks. We'll be back with round 3 here in just a few. Definitely check out that Curled Paw Creative site. That's Curled Paw on Etsy. Coupon code WORLDS2019 will get you 15% off your entire order. And if you're the continental U.S., free shipping on orders over $35. Again, that code is coupon WORLDS2019. That's valid until Monday after Worlds. For the Gold Squadron podcast, I'm Asa.
And I'm Darren.
We will see you next round.